bestie, how are you? I've missed you so much. I'm so happy you made it. I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to be diving into all the books I read in the month of December. A couple things. I have a little life update for you. I dyed my hair. Hello, who is she? I graduated from college. And also I got engaged. Okay, that's as much noise as I'm gonna make about it. I'll probably make more noise about it later, but I'm just super excited. Anyways, back to what you're here for. I read 10 books this month, so let's get into all of them. So first up, it's either gonna be right here or right here. I read Collided by Lauren Asher, which is the second book in the Dirty Air series. So this follows Liam and Sophie. It's dual POV, and I have mixed feelings. So this is sold as like a friends to lovers situation. And if friends to lovers is done well, I might even take it over enemies to lovers some days. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I was very excited about this friends to lovers situation. So Liam is an F1 driver and Sophie's dad works for the rival F1 team, okay? And she comes up with this naughty bucket list of like these different things that she wants to do. Oh, forgot to mention, I'm kind of sick, so please be patient with me. I don't know if I said that already. Please be patient with me. Anyways, rewinding. So, Sophie's dad works for the rival team. She comes up with this naughty bucket list, and Liam finds out about said bucket list, and now he, out of the kindness of his heart, wants to help her complete all these things on her list. And so for me, they weren't really friends before the list existed. It seems like he became friends with her because he knew the list existed, and he was just trying to get with her the whole time. And it wasn't very like, you know, it's always been you kind of thing. That's friends to lovers to me. Also, there's a chapter where they meet, it's like a prequel chapter that they meet, and she like is freshly 18, like just turned 18, and he's 25, and he's like, oh, how old are you? 18? Cool, now I can talk to you, and is like hitting on her at this kid's birthday party because she was like working it as like a princess. That's not important. But anyways, that bothered me because like if it was just age gap and they hadn't met before, fine, whatever. But it just made it weird to me. And they didn't even become friends at that point. It was just like a one-off conversation. Not important. Anyways, I ended up rating this 3 stars. It's on Kindle Unlimited. And I know last month I said Lauren Asher can do no wrong. I lied because I did not love this book. I am going to read the other 2, but it started to feel a little repetitive, and it was only the second book in the series. So I'm going to give it a little break and come back to it, but solid 3 stars for me. I love how I said that was repetitive, and then I immediately jumped into another F1 romance where the male main character's name is Liam. Anyways, I read an arc. I call it an arc. My best friend calls it an ARC. I don't know who's right, but I'm going to continue calling it an arc of this novella called Shut Up and Drive by Grace Newman. It follows Liam, who is an F1 driver, and Poppy, who is a engineer for the rival F1 team. Super quick, super spicy. Maybe not super spicy. Super quick and spicy. It was cute for what it was. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, I think. And up next, we have Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Thank you to every single person who was DMing me and commenting on my videos being like, you need to read Throne of Glass. It was all for this. It was all for this. I haven't read past this, so maybe it was all for the rest of the series too, but this book is so good. If you have not read Throne of Glass and you haven't heard anything about it, just stop what you're doing and go read it. Like, I had so many spoilers going into the series. Please, please, please just go read it, because experiencing this for the first time is so beautiful. Like, it is so beautiful. I love it so much. All I'm gonna say is I'm obsessed with Rowan, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything. So this, please pick it up and read it. I love this. This is like one of my favorite books of the year. Absolutely amazing. The feelings that I felt, the emotional roller coaster I went on in the last like 150 pages. I mean, very on brand for her, but still. Loved it. Loved every single second of this. I should probably get into the tandem read, but still. This, loved it. tuck it in at night, so beautiful. That was 5 stars, by the way, in case that wasn't clear. That was 110% 5 stars. Then I read Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. This one was really, really cute. So this follows Nick and Shay. Shay is a single mom with 2 daughters, and she goes on a date with a guy that's a little younger than her, and they don't hit it off, and they just decide to become friends. He invites her over for Thanksgiving dinner where she meets his dad, and the dad is telling her daughters like, oh hey, so like when's your elf gonna come? And she's like, nope. Anyways, so now he drives 2 hours every night to make sure that the Christmas magic is still alive. I love this man. Not only is he so sweet, but he's so hot. I don't make the rules. He's just hot. So if you haven't read this one, I feel like this is a really good holiday read. I know I'm probably gonna post this like end of December, beginning of January, but still very, very cute holiday read. Just like keep it in your back pocket. Love it. But I will say there are a lot of grammar mistakes, and there's even a point where it's like Nick's point of view, but it starts talking as if he's Shay, and then it switches back to Nick. That's the only reason this book isn't 5 stars. I'd give it like a 4.5, but it was still really, really good. Oh, also Big Nick Energy is on Kindle Unlimited. So why aren't you reading it? That's the real question. Next up, we have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Now, I was a very big fan of Icebreaker the first time I read it. I went back recently and read Icebreaker, and I was like, yeah, it was fine. It was my first hockey romance, so I think that's why I loved it so much. But reading so much hockey romance after it, I was like, okay, that was fine. So I was very excited for this, and that's why I ordered the signed edition. I think I'm gonna end up doing like a giveaway, where I give away the signed edition, because I'd rather somebody else who would love to have this have it. See, look, Hannah Grace. I don't know if you can see that. Did I? I don't want to bend the cover back too much. Anyways, I'd rather somebody who really wants it have it than it just take up space on my shelf, because I hated this book, and let me tell you why. So we're following Russ and Aurora, which, first of all, I don't know why they got their own book. Please explain, because like I was so ready for Henry's book. I would have even taken like, I would love JJ's book. Anyways, so we're following Russ and Aurora after a one-night stand at the beginning of the book, to then they have to work together over the summer at the summer camp. It's cute-ish. That was so messed up. I'm so sorry. It's fine. I don't want to say it's super cute or anything. I think my problem is I listened to the audiobook, and having the male narrator talk as the girl was just like, it made her sound even more annoying than she was. Maybe if I read the physical copy, I would have felt a little bit differently, but was not a fan. Both of them, their only personality trait was that they had daddy issues, and I was just like, okay, now what? You both have daddy issues, and what? I don't know. Not a huge fan. Rory really annoyed me. Like, really, really annoyed me, to the point that I was like, why? Why did she exist? Anyways, the only reason this wasn't a 1-star for me was because of the little glimpses of Henry and JJ that we got. Love them. I still don't know if I'm going to read Henry's book. I'm not as excited about it now that I've read this book. And after rereading Icebreaker, I'll see what everyone has to say before I jump into it. With all that being said, 1.5 stars. Not a fan. But I do think I'm going to do a giveaway, because like, why would I hold on to this? And it's a signed copy. Like, I'm sure that's going to make somebody happy. I'm not that somebody. Next, I read God of Fury by Rena Kent. I love this book so much. Okay, let me write it in. Okay. In general, though, the Legacy of the God series, I read book 1, then I jumped straight to book 5, because I was like, I need Nikolai's story. I love him so much. I need to see how unhinged he is. Answer, super unhinged. That's not the point. So I read the first one, then I read the 5th one in the series, and it's taking place on almost the exact same timeline as book 1. So I was like, well, what's going to happen in books 2 through 4 if book 5 is on the same timeline? So I'm thinking all 5 of the books are on the same timeline. There's scenes in the first book that are happening just from a different character's point of view in the 5th book. And after I read God of Fury, I started God of Pain, and it was very repetitive in that scenes that were happening in book 1 and 5 were happening in book 2. So I put a little pause on God of Pain. Anyways, back to God of Fury. I absolutely love this. So this is Nikolai and Bran's story. This is an dark college romance. We get dual POV. I absolutely loved this so much. I cried so hard when I finished reading this, and I was thankful for every single second of it. But I will say, I feel like Rena Kent makes her trigger warnings so that it's just like it's almost designed to excite you and not like, hey, you need to take like your mental health seriously. Because there was a point that I had to close the book and be like, that was intense. And it's just like, I went back to the trigger warnings at the beginning and it just didn't cover that. So I'd say do your research. If nothing can happen in a book that's gonna make you cringe or question your morals, go ahead and jump right into it. But I would strongly suggest you check some trigger warnings before, because that was something. But I still loved it. 5 stars on Kindle Unlimited. Absolutely loved it. I liked it way more than the first book. And then also reading the second book, I was like, the 5th one is just chef's kiss. I also just really like Nikolai. I'll shut up about it now, but 5 stars. Okay, next up we have The 12 Holidays by Emma St. Clair. So this is a super quick holiday novella. It's in the middle of a bunch of other books. Like, I think it's like book technically like 3.5 in the series. I haven't read any other book in the series. I just saw that this was a holiday novella that was closed door because I was like, I'm gonna be around family, can't be reading anything crazy. So it was fine. I'll just say that. It was fine. It's, okay. Don't remember the female main character's name, but she comes up with these 12 holidays to surprise her fiance or boyfriend. I can't remember if they were gonna get married, but to surprise him. And she's like sitting waiting for him at home, and he comes home with another woman, so he's cheating on her. She goes to her best friend for some comfort, her best friend Weston, and Weston is comforting her and is like, you know what? I'll go on the holidays with you. Of course. So they go on all these holidays together, and Weston's this is her best friend of 13 years. He's been in love with her for 13 years. This is friends to lovers. Been in love with her for 13 years. So for me, it just moved really quickly, but it makes sense because it's a novella. But honestly, I would have rathered a whole book about them because I like the idea. I like the concept, but it was just like, she moved on from her ex-boyfriend of like 3 years so fast. She was like, who? Oh, right, him, got it. You know what I mean? Anyways, so I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. This is on Kindle Unlimited. If you really need something to reach your reading goal at the end of the year, there you go. Then I read Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. So this is a single dad and nanny romance, and I was so excited. Single dad and nanny hits almost every time, and I have to say almost because of this book. So we're following Austin and Veronica. Yes? Dual POV, Austin and Veronica. And Veronica is about to get married, and her soon-to-be husband accidentally sends her a text that was meant for another woman, finds out he's been cheating on her, runs away. Runaway bride. Get it? Runaway love. Anyways, so she's a runaway bride. She's in this small town that the wedding was supposed to happen in, and she meets this girl that's like, oh, I'm actually going out of town, and I'm the nanny for like my niece and nephew. Here, why don't you take the spot? So introduces her to Austin. Austin's all like, no, I don't want her to be my nanny. Spoiler alert, she becomes a nanny, and a little bit more, if you know what I mean. So My only problem with this is the first like month or so goes by really quickly, and there's just like these little glimpses and like a little bit of tension and like an almost kiss, like that kind of thing. Then the kids go out of town to go see their mom for a week, and the entire story takes place in that 1 week. And I was just like, okay, I don't know. I wasn't like a huge fan. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I just needed some kind of plot. I needed there to be something other than they can't be together and now they're together. So now what? There's nothing after that, in my opinion. Anyways, if you like this book, good for you. I'm not a super huge fan of it, but for what it was fine. Then after this, I read Hideaway Heart because I really liked Xander, and I was like, oh, his story is gonna be so good. The tropes is like what tripped me up. So it's a bodyguard and country singer, and she planned this vacation, this like 2-week vacation where like no one's gonna bother her, and then her brother sends his best friend or one of his friends to go protect her. Bodyguard situation, right? So I was like, oh, bodyguard romance, this is gonna be good. No. The insta-love and the insta-lust, absolutely insane. I was like, what are we doing here? What is going on that 2 days into meeting him, you're like, he's the one? No, absolutely not. Anyways, also felt like this was lacking plot. I was gonna give it 2 stars. It picked up plot-wise in like the last like 20 minutes of the book. I was reading on my Kindle, so I don't know how many pages that was. The last like 20-ish minutes of the book, it actually picked up. So solid 3 stars, but meh, it was fine. Oh, I actually just looked. I gave it 2.5 stars, not 3. So solid 2.5 stars. And then the final book of the year for me was Same Time Next Year by Tessa Bailey. This is a marriage of convenience novella, which was really good, like surprisingly good. So we're following Britta and Sumner, which don't like either one of those names, but that's not important. Britta is working at a bar that she wants to be the owner of, and Sumner is a Canadian hockey player that wants to get picked up by the NHL, but he needs to stay in the United States. So it's very like The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. If you liked that movie, read this novella. So they basically agree that he'll pay for her to be a part owner of the bar, and she marries him so he can stay. And then, you know, they fall in love. Spoiler alert. This was really cute, spicy. I loved it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's on Kindle Unlimited. This was like the perfect end of the year book, or it would be the perfect like beginning of the year book. Like it was just like very quick, very fun. I just enjoyed myself. Like I had a great time. So, oh, and also it's less than 200 pages. Hello, come on, reach your Goodreads goal. Anyways, okay. That wraps up all the books that I read this month. I will be back next month with hopefully something exciting. Not that this wasn't exciting, but hopefully something equally as exciting. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.